The Last Oricru is an action RPG by GoldKnight Studios from Prague. The game was initially titled Lost Hero and it's been in development since 2015. In 2019, the studio made a change, grew to 40 developers, renamed the game to The Last Oricru and struck a deal with Koch Media, being part of their Prime Matter offering. During Steamfest, they released a very playable demo, featuring the first 2 chapters of the game, good for around 2 hours. It is still there, you can still play it. And this is the main reason I am making this video. This is going to be my kind of game, I feel. It may not be yours though, judging from what I've seen. This is going to be a janky game, I feel, really not hitting the AAA polish the devs may be striving for. They just don't have the resources and the scale of the game is likely too large for it as well. The demo has several issues, ranging from voiceovers that aren't great, with even plosives making it into the game. A plosive is when a voice actor, or me, doesn't keep enough distance from the microphone or doesn't use a pop filter, and you blow air into the microphone, which makes these really uncomfortable low bass popping sounds. Rather unforgivable in a video game, to be honest. It wasn't just that audio mixing was poor at times, combat is a little clunky, not unlike games like Alex, and performance during the demo had issues staying at 60 FPS while in crowded areas. It is clear the budget and time and dedication were spent elsewhere, in a place very few other games make use of their resources. I feel this game has something that very few games have. The sense that you're walking around in an actual fantasy world with real people, grounded factions and true stories. The world building, lore and immersion are the true foundation of The Last Oricru and the reason why I'm very positive about the full game. So how do they achieve this? For example, there is no minimap, there are no markers or a HUD telling you where to go. You're supposed to actually listen to the NPCs, to the instructions they provide, and only then will you figure out where to go. Instead of mindlessly chasing icons, you are now navigating a world like you would in real life, talking to people, looking at signposts, and by simply exploring. To incentivize exploration, the devs created plenty of shortcuts, secret zones and puzzles. Once again, these are not marked or anything, you just have to rely on your own senses. You come across plenty of doors that are locked from the other side. There are games that never let you go through that other side, it's just a closed door. But every door I found in The Last Oricru had an actual room behind it, which you could get into if you take the time to investigate, and you would be able to open that door and create another route to your objective. And these routes are important because you're dying quite a bit, and if you want a quick way to get where you died, to pick up the lost experience, opening up these doors and these shortcuts is a very good way to progress. Dying is a vital part of the game. Get it? Vital. Anyway, you will die a lot. The world state remains the same, however, after you die, meaning that every opened chest and door remains opened. All of the enemies respawn, however. This is due to your magical belt and your special status as a human in an alien world. You have the power to revive. This is woven into the lore in such a way that you quickly accept this is the case, because everyone else around you already knows that this is the case and they're counting on it even. It's a very interesting approach to a very video game-like mechanic and it works well. Similarly, you slowly get introduced to the alien planet you ended up on. You have very little idea of what is going on, but you do figure out you are not the only human around here. Not only that, humans are seen as special creatures by the inhabitants. And not only that, humans have been there before you, judging by the captain's logs you can read at the portals which allow you to level up your character. What you do figure out quickly, however, is that your choices have real consequences. Many games claim this, but The Last Oricru seems to deliver. I found it by far the most compelling feature of the game. Because of the absence of markers, minimaps and other tools, you quickly become part of the world. As a result, you interact more and more with NPCs and you're interested in what they have to say. You're kind of reliant on it too. Also because this can lead to additional quests. They don't just stand around there, these NPCs, with a blue exclamation mark above their heads. No. You need to approach them and talk to them, and only then will they tell you their issues, if they like you enough, that is, and trust you. The reputation you have among the different factions is bound to play a role here, I reckon. Because you get attached to the NPCs, suddenly the choices you have to make regarding those NPCs become real dilemmas. I found myself pondering over the decisions the game threw at me, partly because I already cared a bit about the characters, but mostly because there wasn't a clear right or wrong. Sometimes I had to make a choice with very little information. Sometimes I had to choose between two evils. Most of the time, there was simply no clear moral correct choice, which is great. Way too many games let you just play a good or bad character, but not this game, judging by the demo. Instead, you get to influence how the different alien factions see you, but inside of those factions there are good, neutral and evil members. It's a very natural, non-homogeneous group, these factions, which is a rather unique feature in games. I enjoyed this part a lot, and I'm curious to see if these impactful decisions will remain impactful throughout the entire game. It also makes me curious about the game as a whole, because despite the overall jankiness and lack of polish, this game is a title I have really enjoyed for the few hours that I've been playing it. I can tell that if this is a 30-hour adventure or so, including some side questing and puzzling, I'm going to have a great time with this. Hopefully you also have a decent impression after watching this video. That is ultimately the point of this whole thing. All that remains for me is to thank you for watching and for making it to the end. I appreciate it. See you soon. Love you all. Bye bye.